angelic harmonies lift me off the ground. Notes that tie my heartstrings wrap me safe and sound. Breezes through the trees echo in my...
Okay. So hello everyone. I am just going to really quickly turn on a throat chakra frequency as we get into the throat chakra energy. No, you know what? We're actually going to start this video off by tuning into, let me turn my camera off real quick. Ugh. Let me get myself together. Okay. I'm just going to be, once again, taking my time, so bear with me. I'm not going to rush through this message. I'm going to, just take my time. And in the last video, I started off with a easy little body scan, starting from the bottom of the feet, moving up towards the crown. In this one, we are actually going to do a short heart chakra meditation before we get into the messages. Especially because now we're moving up into the higher chakras, the more spiritual chakras, the more feminine chakras. And what better way, oh gosh, please excuse any stuttering that you may hear. What better way to tap into that energy than through the heart space, right? Go ahead, take some sips. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple crystals to put on my side here. And I have my blue calcite crystal for the throat chakra. So I'm going to hold on to that as I'm speaking. So let's go ahead and start this video, by getting into a comfortable position. And it doesn't matter if you're laying down, it don't matter if you're sitting down, just make sure you're comfortable and make sure that you can breathe properly, okay? So Spirit, I ask please that you guide my words, guide my thoughts, guide my energy, guide my focus during this meditation and throughout this video. Help me to say what I mean what I say, and to remain focused on the intention behind what I do. I ask please that you keep me open to new information, especially sensory information, to shift and adjust as necessary. Keep me connected to my body throughout this meditation, throughout this video, so that I can provide the best healing that I can, and also remain in tune with my own sense of self-love. Thank you. Okay. So from wherever you sit, go ahead and close down your eyes. We're going to do, once again, we're going to do the 4-4-4 breathing technique. This time we're going to do it 4 times. So go ahead and breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold at the top for 4 seconds. Release for 4 seconds. Hold at the bottom for 4 seconds. And we're going to do this 4 times. And then you can just go back to your normal state of breathing. This is helpful to stop any mental chatter, stop any anxiety, get yourself grounded into the present moment so that we can move forward in a productive way. And also so that you can feel as comfortable as possible and receptive to these messages, okay? So, let's start right now. Breathing in through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Holding at the top. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling through the mouth. 2, 3, 4. Holding at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. One more time on your own. When you're done, just return to a natural state of breathing, just flowing. No forcing, no rushing. Just be here now. Feel energized, feel vibrant, feel in control, and prepared to receive new information. So before we get into this, just say, I am open, I receive. Okay? So what I want you to do is close down your eyes again if you have them open. I want you to breathe in through your nose slowly and follow your breath down to your chest, down to your heart, and exhale through this space. I want you to go ahead and focusing on the chest, focusing on the heart. I want you to breathe in and out of this space a couple times. I wonder if you can imagine what it would be like for your heart space to be a glowing green, warm, inviting portal that you could dip into. Continuously breathing, I want you to imagine yourself immersing and going through this portal of your heart space. I wonder if you can use all of your senses and imagine what this space feels like, looks like, sounds like, smells like. What is the landscape of your heart at this time? What color is it? Do you notice any textures? Do you notice any people? or things in this space. Go ahead and explore that for a moment. Remain in your breath. Remain present with your intention. Now, in this space, there is a hidden gem, a hidden piece, something that you need in this moment to retrieve and bring back with you. This object, item, thing will have a very light vibrational feel to it. It may be covered or wrapped in a golden or white light. I want you to let go of expectation, trust, and surrender, and ask to be guided towards this thing. Know that you will be guided towards what this is, releasing any judgment about what it could be, what it may look like. Trust your subconscious. If you have retrieved this thing, even if not, I want you to stand in the middle of this space within your heart. And I want you to put your hands to your heart in a prayer position. I want you to bow your head in honor and reverence and say, thank you, I love you, I see you. When you're ready, I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. A deep sigh through your mouth. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Start to become aware of my voice. Become aware of the energy around you. Become aware of the space that you're in. And come back into consciousness. Okay? Now, whatever you retrieved, I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to hold on to that. This was something important. And if you didn't see anything or feel anything, that's okay. This will come to you because you set the intention and you took the time to consciously be in that space. Trust that whatever needs to be retrieved and aware or brought to awareness will come to you in due time. Okay? Like I said, surrender, let it go, and know that it will come to you when it's meant to. Okay? So, from that space, in the last video, I was talking about the heart chakra. And the heart chakra being a place of support. The heart chakra being a place of receptivity. The heart chakra being a place of giving and receiving, right? And allowing that energy to flow, connectedness, intimacy. Alright, I'm going to turn this off now. So the heart chakra being a space of that receptivity and so on and so forth. Okay. And I stopped right before we got to the throat chakra. And after I recorded the video, I came to like the realization that, oh snap, I almost forgot about the higher heart chakra, which is a real transformation point and kind of gateway into a healthy expression of the throat chakra. Okay. Now the heart chakra, as you may know, can be blocked, just like the sacral chakra, with its stored traumas and stored emotions and stored imprints. The heart chakra can be very much blocked by pain, lack of forgiveness, betrayal, abandonment wounds, all of these things, right? And a lot of people actually do have a blocked heart chakra space. And so they are not able to speak, express, act with integrity. The throat chakra, and we'll get into that in a moment, the throat chakra is not necessarily just about speaking verbally, right, and expressing through a verbal way. It's also just about the intention you put behind things, and the way you go about creating, right? The throat chakra is also connected to the mental space. It's also connected to the things that you think, right? It has to do with your thoughts, words, and all of that affects your actions. Okay, so when your throat chakra is imbalanced, you could be having a lot of negative thoughts about yourself and others. You could have a lot of limiting beliefs about yourself and others and the world around you in general, and sometimes a lot of it can be subconscious as well. So let's talk about the higher heart chakra. So when I think about the higher heart chakra, I'm always imagining this crystal right here. This is a 𝙘𝙧𝙖𝙠𝙧𝙧 crystal. You see, it's pink. It's kind of hard to see. There's less pink in here, but it's pink and green. When I look at the 𝙘𝙧𝙖𝙠𝙧 crystal, I always think of moss, right? I think of moss. I think of nature. It's really, and this right here, it's raw. This is a raw crystal, raw stone, right? So it's very primal. And when I think of the higher heart chakra, I'm thinking of the green, which is the heart chakra, and then pink, which is, to me, since I'm a female, right, like I'm a woman, I resonate with that energy, is sisterhood. Okay, it's that energy of not only shared humanity, but then when you get to the higher heart chakra, you are elevating intimacy to a spiritual level. So I mentioned this in a video that I posted, but the higher heart chakra to me symbolizes unconditional love. And what does that mean? Unconditional love is the part of ourselves that a lot of us block off. For example, when I'm thinking of the heart chakra, I'm thinking of a not basic at all, but in a way basic version of love, basic version of intimacy, basic version of connection with another person. Okay, so it's kind of still based in what we can see, what we can see, what we can prove. It's kind of still based in a material type of thing, It's kind of like loving someone based off of the actions they put in and this and that, right? And it's kind of like, you have something solid to, you have, like, I don't know how to explain it, like a paper trail of reasons, or a paper trail of moments that led up to you having these feelings towards another person. But the higher heart chakra is that maybe deeper layer of ourselves that says, I understand that we are connected on a soul level, right? We're all connected on a soul level. So even if you didn't have this job, even if you didn't share the same passions or hobbies as me, even if we weren't friends, I would still have unconditional love for you. And that's a part of ourselves which is blocked or repressed or suppressed or just not tapped into. Because that is when we actually tune into our spiritual nature. And a lot of people, personally, I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And so by default, we are all spiritual. Whether we claim the title or the label or don't, we are naturally moving in a spiritual type of way. Our whole life is serendipitous. whether we think it or not, right? Like, whether we consciously are like, oh yeah, I'm making every single thing in my life happen, I'm, whatever. But that's my opinion on it. Okay, so when I'm thinking of the higher heart chakra, I'm thinking of the energy of 𝙘𝙧𝙖𝙠𝙧𝙖𝙨. 𝙘𝙧𝙖𝙠 is a stone of compassion, but also boundaries, right? So maybe with a blocked heart chakra, or when you're in your heart chakra, right? Maybe you can turn the love on and off. Maybe you can turn the faucet of giving on and off, right? A lot of us think, okay, hold on, let me get my thoughts together real quick, girl. 1 second. Okay. Excuse me. So, I know a lot of us have probably been in a space in our life, right, where we have all of these feelings. We love someone, and then we break up, and then we are not focused on all of the positivity, all of the love that we have, all of that, right? We are focused on turning away from those feelings, turning away from that person, turning away from the situation, right, and not processing it. We're closing off our heart. And I made a video earlier which talked about a collective message, which really has to do with this. It has to do with the heart chakra. It has to do with shutting off opportunity, shutting off people, shutting off or shunning and rejecting, right? The heart chakra also has to do with rejection. What we cannot process and integrate, accept, forgive, embrace, we reject. Okay, and a lot of people are in that rejection mode in society, from what I can tell. All right, and there's a lot of people who are not, but where they at? Okay, so the heart chakra will reject things from a place of, it hurts too much, don't want to feel it, don't want to see it, don't want to deal with it. And in doing that, they start rejecting things that remind them of that person, place, thing, right? Like, you know how it goes, okay? But the higher heart chakra is the place that a lot of us don't really want to go. It's that place where your heart and your throat start to coexist. Okay, the throat chakra, I wrote this down. The throat chakra is about honesty. It's about problem solving. It's about integrity. Okay, it's about your values and what you value in this world genuinely, right? And so from that place, a lot of people also have a blocked throat chakra. The throat chakra is connected to, obviously, the dental, the jaws, the throat, the neck. Okay, it's connected to as well the sinuses. Okay, the thyroid. You can have any issues regarding any of these things, then you may have a excessively used or a underactive throat chakra. So the way to balance that is through integrity, honesty, etc., blah blah blah. Okay, a lot of people are not really in tune with their values. People are not in tune with their values, and see, the higher chakras are coming from a higher place. This comes from a place of not just living for today, but living for the future. Okay, the higher chakras are deeply humanitarian, and they are deeply wise, and they are deeply connected to love, like love in its fullest form. Okay? So when your heart is connected to your throat, you are actively processing harder emotions. I think let me remind myself of the example that I used in the last video. I think in the last video I was talking about the solar plexus moving into the heart. So for example, you notice that you need to make moves forward in your life, but you feel stuck, right? You feel as though you are lacking a skill, some type of knowledge, you are lacking some support in some way, and that's when you move into the heart space. That's when you ask for physical support, financial support, emotional support. That is when you ask, your higher power for, spiritual support. I think I said that, but yeah. That's when you move into that space of vulnerability, right? And that is when you that's where a lot of people kind of shut themselves off, because they don't know how to come from the higher heart with it. And what I mean by that is, for example, you ask for help and it gets rejected. This is where you can, you listen to this example right here. This is where you have the opportunity to see what needs healing within your heart. Okay? And how you can move up with it, alright? For example, I'm having a hard time. I ask somebody to put me on to a job or put me on in some way. And they say, no, I can't. I can't do that. Or, I don't have this or I don't have that. And so basically you feel rejected. And so it's basically, okay, fuck you. And it's all of that. Because inside you feel as though like, oh my God, you just triggered some wounds for me, right? You rejected me. When really what they did was maybe they just, maybe they weren't asked, but maybe they weren't. And maybe that is just something that brings up something for you from your past. Maybe they genuinely said, I genuinely would if I could, but right now I'm not in a position to do that and still take care of myself, right? And so maybe you took that as a rejection. Or maybe you was like, in your mind, you're like, oh, they're lying. People are always lying just to kind of, skirt past the situation, or to kind of like not have to deal with me, or, paying attention to that. The higher heart chakra has boundaries, but it also has compassion for others. Moving from a place of knowing that, like, trusting, right? It has to do with trust as well. A big, big, big trust, as well as the throat chakra. So if someone says that, you take it as it is, right? Using your discernment. And we'll talk about that in a minute too. Using your sense of discernment, right? So with discernment and intuition, you'll be able to know when someone is like unreliable, and when they're just like, they don't really care about you, they don't want to do this for you, or there's something else going on, versus when someone genuinely is being genuine with you and saying like, hey, I would love to help you, but right now I have to take care of me the best I can, and I don't have enough to give another person. And because you have that compassion, because you have that trust, and because you have a faith to you, you'll be like, you know what, I appreciate it, I understand the type of person you are, and I know that if you could, you would. I'll find another way. That's that higher heart, okay? It is allowing yourself to have your feelings, have your needs, and then also meeting someone where they are, setting boundaries if needed, right? But still having that open communication to where, I'm not shutting you out, I'm not shutting you off, and I'm not ruining the connection, right? I'm acting accordingly. Right? It is really a high value type of perspective in the higher heart space. It is I know what I deserve, but I know that you also deserve the same kind of things in your life, okay? Moving into the throat chakra, expressing that. So you can feel one way, And then you can express something completely different, or you could just not express nothing at all. So like, I'm going to use this as an example of talking to another person from this place, right? So you have a conversation with somebody and they say what they say, right? Like, oh, you know, I can't do it right now, I wish I could. And you take your feelings about it, filter it and process it through your values and what you value as a person and how you really feel, and act accordingly and express that. So maybe if you know that this person is lying, maybe you communicate that, right? But it's in a balanced way. It's in a way of not disrespecting yourself and not disrespecting this person, but also making sure that your truth and how you really feel is heard and understood. Or the opposite, right? It could be just simply like what I said, expressing like, hey, you know, I understand, I appreciate it, etc. Right? So the throat chakra goes with expressing gratitude, expressing love, expressing your dreams, your fears, your desires, your vulnerabilities. Okay? It's coming from that place because, like I said, you can feel something and never express it due to fear. You can feel something and never put it out there to be understood, to be seen, right? To be worked with. This is a big space for collaboration, communication. And a lot of people, you know, like I said before, don't know how to verbalize certain things, don't know how to word certain things, or, you know, there's a disconnection between their communication skills or their reflective listening skills. And this is something that a lot of people in society get shunned for, because either they have anxiety and it's difficult for them, or they have ADHD and it's difficult for them, or they have autism and it's difficult for them, right? Or their mind just works in a different way. And the throat chakra is one of the biggest chakras that I like to work with, because I like to rewire the way we think about communication and expression. Like I said, expression doesn't just have to be simply from your mouth. Like I'm expressing now verbally, it doesn't just have to be that. Expression is any form of expression. Some people express through art. Some people express through movement of their body, right? It's more so a feeling that it evokes. Expression is about a feeling that is evoked, a concept that is communicated through one way or through one mean or another. And it doesn't just have to be verbal. There are some people in this world who are non-verbal, but they express themselves in different ways. And if you are in tune with your intuition, if you are in tune with your discernment, and if you are in tune with your compassion, you'll feel that. So that's the throat chakra. Once again, it has to do with integrity as well. And a good way to get in tune with your throat chakra is they even have quizzes that you can take online. Like, they're obviously not super detailed or anything, but if you want to kind of get a general look at what you prioritize in your life, right, first and foremost, if all else fails, what is it that you really want to communicate? What is it that you really want to fight for, right? Your values. What do you want to put first? There are quizzes that can help you kind of pinpoint a couple things that, you know, you can focus on in regards to your goals and where you are with that. But integrity to me means being in tune with your values, knowing what you value. For example, if today the world was to end, what is most important for you to do, to say, to be? That's what you value. And I feel like a lot of people really, I don't know, it seems as though, from what I've learned, right, doing research on people with near-death experiences and people who have shared their stories on hospice or who have terminal illnesses, and they're talking about their life, and they're reflecting, and they're talking about the things they care about and love and their regrets. And to me, I would say an example of how you could probably get in tune with what you value is to sit in that place of imagining that your life is ending very soon. What do you want that time to look like? What do you want to create? What do you need to say? What do you want to be remembered for? Right? Reflecting on the end of our life can make living our life a whole lot more meaningful. To me, that's the throat chakra. That's getting aligned with what you really want to say and do and be in this world. And anybody who's ever been emotionally or verbally abused, you know that words matter. So use them accordingly, right? Use them with wisdom, with care. That's the throat chakra to me, right? The throat chakra can be blocked by, well, plenty of things, obviously. It can be blocked by, being shamed, right, for who you are. It can be blocked by being judged, being silenced outwardly. Like if you expressed an aspect of yourself and you got shamed or judged or in trouble in any way, you can repress that deeply into your throat. The throat chakra, 741 frequency, is the throat chakra frequency. And this frequency helps with detox. Detox in all ways. Not just mentally detox, but that as well. To me, when I listen to this frequency, I imagine all the things that are shoved way back to the back of my mind being brought forward. So I can see my negative thoughts. I can see my doubts. I can see everything that I'm thinking when I'm thinking it. And I can also feel when I'm ingesting or consuming content, food, anything else, drinks, that are not aligned with my truth. Sometimes we consume things subconsciously to suppress our own truth, if that makes sense, right? Like you throwing a drink back and you trying to swallow the words that want to come out. You are trying to swallow the emotions that are trying to be expressed. So you stuff yourself with things, trying to stuff it down, right? It can be blocked by plenty of things. It can also be blocked by fear of course, physical violence. Being jailed, right? Being outcasted, right? That's a throat chakra to me. Now, moving up into the third eye chakra. Let me take a break real quick. Shake it out. Excuse me. Let's see what we got up in here. Okay. So here I have my labradorite crystal. I love this crystal. This to me is a throat and third eye chakra crystal, if you can see. It's kind of hard to see. But it's got a beautiful, what is it called, inflection, or beautiful stream of blue and green and like yellowish, orangish, red. Beautiful. It's a very magical crystal. This is called I want to say it's like the wizard stone, because to me it reminds me of like something you would see in Lord of the Rings or something like that, right? But yeah, so we're going to get into the third eye now. So the third eye to me is also creativity, okay, but from a different space. It's the intuition, all right, the ability to think bigger, to see potential, and the third eye is transcending the flesh, okay? So the third eye is associated with the pineal gland, which is the gland which produces melatonin, and it helps us to have visions and dreams and yeah, all of that. You know what it is. But basically the third eye is the intuition. And of course our intuition speaks to us in different ways. So, don't necessarily, when I first started understanding about all of the chakras and the intuition and, fear versus, ego versus this and fear, and when I started hearing about that, I'm sitting here thinking that, everybody experiences intuition the same way. Some people experience intuition with a gut instinct, right? Like they physically feel it. It's a visceral thing. It's not like aggressive, right? But they feel it somehow. Some people kind of, I don't know, they see it. It's more fluid. It's more loose. It's more detached, right? And it's like everyone experiences their intuition in different ways. So that's for you to kind of suss out and get familiar with if you're not already. But the third eye is the seat of the intuition, okay? And whenever you need to tap into your intuition and get familiar, I do recommend doing some third eye work. But I don't recommend doing that without doing the lower stuff first, the lower chakra work first, the shadow work, okay? Because you always hear about people opening their third eye, but then this is the thing. Now listen to this. This is the thing about it. This is what I noticed on my journey, right? When I was first starting out with like spirituality and esoteric beliefs and universal laws and all of these things, I would come across a lot of people who were focusing a lot on the third eye space. They were focusing a lot on astral projection and meditation, of course, and they were focusing a lot on different realms of existence. They were focusing on a lot of things in that realm, right? That's not to say that, that's invalid or anything, but the place in which they was coming from, they still had a lot of hate in their heart. They still had a lot of pain in their heart. And so they were carrying that into their teachings. They were sitting here online and they were, basically preaching to one group of people against another group of people. And they were sitting here and they were very convoluted in the way that they were expressing their ideas, right? And I felt like it lacked integrity. And that right there that's this right here. It lacked that. They were speaking from a place of hurt because they hadn't done any heart chakra work. They hadn't healed their past wounds. They hadn't forgiven their parents, right? They haven't forgiven their exes. They haven't forgiven the world. They felt unsafe, and so all of their ideas were from a place of paranoia, right? Instead of trust, instead of faith, instead of actually manifesting higher vibrational things into their life, instead of actually creating change in the world and building things that were going to uplift all of us, they were tearing things down, tearing people down, bashing people, bashing things, right? It was very selfish. A lot of these people who did this work first, right? They tapped into the pineal gland before they tapped into the heart space, before they tapped into their wounds, before they tapped into their fears. They were projecting that into the world and calling themselves spiritual teachers. So I do recommend that you work from the root up so then you can have an higher perspective on life and you can actually teach this world something that we haven't maybe even heard of before. Innovation, right? They say you can't solve a level from you can't solve a problem from the same level of which it was created. You gotta elevate, yeah? So to me, the third eye is also the ability to see past flesh. To know that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, right? And the third eye is also very connected to your own understanding of energy, your own understanding of spirituality, your own understanding of God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, your own understanding of the unseen. It's very personal. That's for you to get to understand and know, right? That's your intuition leading you. And a lot of people can get very conditioned into other people's beliefs and programmed with these ideas of how you should be, getting signs from the universe, how you should be moving in your life, how you should know if you're going in the right direction, this and that. But the thing is that we are all on our own individual path. So that's for you to figure out and decide. Alright? So using the intuition and seeing past flesh is really, to me, a feeling thing. Like, the two eyes will see an outline of what is really presented. It will see the flesh. It will see skin color. It will see gender, age, race. It may see hair texture, hair color, eye color, makeup, fashion sense. And it will judge it accordingly to a materialistic world. But the intuition will look deeper. It will feel the essence of a human being oozing from the inside of them. You may be a pretty face, but whatever is underneath that may not be so pretty. Or maybe you wearing an orange shirt, and I don't like orange. To me, orange is not my color. And I want to judge you off of that, but then I talk to you and I feel your energy. And it's like a healing balm. To me, you just, you're godly. If you're not in tune with your intuition, if you're not in tune with that higher vision, you could be mishandling angels in your presence and not even know it. Isn't there a verse? Something about hospitality to strangers. What's that verse? Ooh, that just gave me the chills. Hebrews 13:2. Do not forget to show hospitalities to strangers, for by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it. That's the intuition. That's the intuition. I feel your essence. I feel your vibe. I feel your soul pouring out of you. I look at what's presented outside of me and I say, what does this teach me about this person? What does this show me about this person and their character and their soul and, who they are? If you can feel a soul, then you can match it up to the outside appearance and see somebody for who they are. If you are intuitive, you can look at someone, feel their essence, and then look at their outside projection and be like, yeah, this person is not living in their truth. This person is hiding. Or this person is really, they are embodied. They are in their truth. They are in their essence. They are in their vibe, right? They are in their creator mode. You can tell that from the intuition, from the third eye. Okay? So, that's that. And the crown chakra, the crown chakra is presented as the lotus, right? It is the flower of 1,000 petals. Oh, Lord have mercy. I might have to come back for this one. I might have to end this here, and then we're going to come back because the crown chakra, I want to dive into that, okay? I want to dive into the crown chakra because the crown chakra is beautiful. It's one of my favorites. And yeah, we'll get into that, okay? But I've been on here for 50 minutes. So I definitely need to refresh my energy, collect myself, and get some fresh air, okay? But so there will be a part 3 to this video then, okay? I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I put my heart and soul into this one, so please do enjoy it and appreciate it, okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Share this video, get the word out. Let's get the conversation going about these chakras, girl, and how we can practically use it. Let's let the truth out, right? Let's let the truth out for once. Okay.